In Age of Anger, A History of the Present published in 2017, Indian author Pankaj Mishra explores the emergence of political movements driven by anger and resentment across the Western world. Mishra contends that these movements, ranging from Trumpism and Brexit to ISIS and other Islamic terror groups, can be understood as responses to the global spread of capitalism and liberal democracy. In contrast to thinkers like Francis Fukuyama, Mishra challenges the notion that violence and disorder are aberrations in the modern world. According to him, they are inherent features directly linked to the expansion of capitalism and liberal democracy worldwide. Mishra's book, praised as absorbing, richly learned, and subversive by London's Literary Review magazine, serves as a critical examination of two influential political theories from the late 20th century, Francis Fukuyama's The End of History and Samuel Huntington's Clash of Civilizations. Fukuyama argues that the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 signaled the conclusion of mankind's ideological evolution, with Western liberal democracy and free market capitalism standing as the ultimate and unsurpassable forms of governance. On the other hand, Huntington's Clash of Civilizations theory posits that post-Cold War conflicts will primarily occur along civilizational lines, specifically between Western civilization and Islamic civilization. Mishra challenges both of these theories, rejecting the idea that Western civilization can be placed within a benevolent Enlightenment tradition characterized by rationalism, humanism, and liberal democracy. Instead, he asserts that the history of modernization is largely characterized by chaos and destruction, contradicting the optimistic narrative upheld by Fukuyama and Huntington. One reason behind the emergence of fundamentalist movements, such as Islamic extremists like ISIS or the Hindu nationalists in India, according to Mishra, is their response to the rapid changes brought about by modernization. These movements often arise from a sense of alienation and dislocation, manifesting across the political spectrum from fascism to anarchism. Mishra identifies a common fuel driving these movements, which he terms as ressentiment. Ressentiment, as defined by Mishra, is an existential resentment towards the existence of others, fueled by a combination of envy, humiliation, and powerlessness. Mishra traces much of this phenomenon back to the Enlightenment ideals of the 18th century, which emphasized the inherent rights of individuals. These ideas formed the basis for the establishment of liberal democracies, including the United States. However, the rise of individualism has come at the expense of traditional family and community-based support systems. People leave their cultural roots behind in pursuit of wealth and success, only to discover that these opportunities are often limited to a privileged few. As a result, they seek someone to blame for their lack of progress, leading to the cultivation of resentment. Interestingly, Mishra highlights that even those who achieve success and enter the middle or upper classes may still reject the modern order. He points out that explanations of Islamic fundamentalism often fail to account for the fact that many ISIS recruits come from relatively comfortable backgrounds. Mishra cites Tunisia, which he considers one of the most westernized Muslim societies, as a significant source of ISIS recruits. He suggests that the promise of wealth and comfort offered by modern liberal democracies, even when fulfilled, ultimately rings hollow for many individuals. Overall, Mishra contends that the modernization process and the emphasis on individualism have contributed to the rise of fundamentalist movements by creating a sense of resentment and disillusionment among those who feel marginalized and left behind, leading them to seek solace and identity in extremist ideologies. According to Mishra, the 18th century philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau possessed foresight into the challenges of modernity from its inception. Rousseau envisioned a social order that prioritized morals, virtue, and human character over commerce and material wealth as the foundation of politics. He warned that without these values, modern society would be plagued by a sense of victimhood among the underprivileged, leading to a demand for redemption. Mishra argues that two common targets of this resentment are women, who are often held responsible by men for obstructing their progress by challenging traditional gender roles, and arrogant cosmopolitan elites. Mishra acknowledges that he does not provide a solution to the cultural resentments generated by the modern world. However, he observes that these resentments are no longer confined to traditional havens of terrorism like ISIS and Al-Qaeda, but have spread to movements such as Donald Trump's presidency and Brexit. While these movements have roots in Enlightenment-era philosophical shifts, they have intensified in recent years. Mishra characterizes the current global climate as more widespread and apocalyptic in nature than ever before, addressing the rise of cultural supremacism, populism, and aggressive brutality requires transformative thinking, both on an individual and societal level, as stated by Mishra. It demands a profound re-evaluation of ourselves and the world in order to navigate and mitigate these challenges effectively. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.